Hey guys, I'm Chris Tucker, and today I'm going to be making for you a chocolate peanut butter pie. If you know anything about me, you know that my favorite part of a meal is dessert. So I thought what better thing to share than an old family recipe. We're going to start by making our crust. I'm going to add 20 sandwich cookies to my food processor. And I'm just gonna pulse this up until it's pretty fine. You want it to be nice and broke down. That's pretty good. So now what I'm gonna do is add this melted butter, and it's only about 3 tablespoons. And this is just gonna bring the cookie crumbs into a solid mass. Now that I have this all together and it's the consistency that I want, it's crumbly, but now that I've added the melted butter, it's sticking together again, and that's exactly what we're looking for. I'm gonna just be dumping this directly into a tart pan. Again, this is a really simple dessert, but I'm doing a few things that my grandma actually never did, but I'm doing it just to kind of sophisticate it a little bit. Make it my own dessert. She actually always used a graham crust, but I have updated her recipe, if you will, and I'm now using this chocolate crust. I think it just adds a little more decadence to it, and I don't know, who doesn't like decadence when it comes to dessert? I like to take the bottom of my glass, and you can really press down, and you just smash it down. It just makes sure that everything is really nice and secure in there. All right, that looks pretty good. So now that we have our crust all ready to go, we're gonna put it in a 350-degree oven for 7 to 10 minutes until it looks dry and set. The ingredients for the filling are super simple, and there's only a few of them. To my mixer, I'm gonna add the softened cream cheese and the peanut butter. And we're gonna get that blended up until it's nice and creamy. Once those couple of ingredients are combined, we're going to add our vanilla and then our powdered sugar a little at a time so we don't create a mess. You know, when you're running a restaurant like my grandma did, you have to keep some things really simple. And I think she really struck a chord with this one because people used to come back to her restaurant just to eat this pie on Sundays. Now that my peanut butter and cream cheese have been combined and they're nice and light and fluffy, I'm gonna slowly start adding my powdered sugar. I'm gonna go ahead and add my vanilla. So we're pretty much done with the mixer portion of this, and I'm just going to fold in our Cool Whip. Now that our filling is prepared, we're just gonna wait for our crust to finish baking and then let it cool completely. You can even pop it in the freezer to speed up the process. And then we'll go ahead and fill it and let it chill. So now that the shell is cooled, I'm gonna place the filling inside. But I'm gonna show you just with a little offset spatula, and if you don't have one of these, you could always use the back of a spoon. If that's something that you have in your kitchen, that would work well. But this is just going to smooth down the surface and even it out into this tart shell. So this is looking pretty good to me. I'm gonna go ahead at this point and pop it into the refrigerator. My tart's almost done chilling, and so I'm gonna get to work on my chocolate ganache topping. This is something that you would never find at my grandparents' restaurant. She actually, referring to my grandma, used to top hers with just some more whipped cream. And there's nothing wrong with that. You really just have to do whatever is right for you, whatever good for your taste. And again, going back to whatever your comfort level is in the kitchen. So in my bowl, I have some really high quality chocolate chips and some instant coffee. The instant coffee just brings out the flavor of the chocolate. In this measuring cup, I have some heavy cream that I've heated up, and I'm just going to be pouring this directly over my chocolate chips. Now that I have my cream in here, I'm gonna just give it a little bit of a swirl. And this just encourages all of the chocolate to be surrounded by the cream. Now it's a hands-off situation for about 3 minutes. That's just gonna help the chocolate to liquefy. And then it'll be time to pour over our tart. It's been about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'm just going to take a fork. If you're working in a bigger bowl, you can take a whisk, but you can see that the chocolate ganache has really come together just by me swirling it around the bowl. But now I'm really going to get in there and make sure that it's nice and emulsified. And when it's really smooth, there's no lumps, you know that it's ready to be poured on top of the chilled tart. So I just grabbed it from the refrigerator, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pour this directly on top of the tart. And I'm just gonna take this ganache almost directly to the end, but I'm gonna leave just a little tiny bit of that peanut butter cream showing still, just to create a little bit of contrast from where that shell is. And then once that's done, just take a few flakes of that sea salt. And that's gonna really help to balance the sweetness. Now that this is all together, I'm gonna let it chill, and we'll go ahead and slice it up. Just like that, we have a beautiful peanut butter chocolate tart. Not like Grandma would make it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a piece of this and have a little snack. This is my grandma's chocolate peanut butter pie with just a few simple updates that I created myself. The contrast in the textures from the crust to the creaminess of the peanut butter in the center is such a palate pleaser. I don't do very well with self-control when it comes to sweets, but I'm gonna try to only have one slice today. I really appreciate you stopping by my kitchen today so I could teach you a classic recipe from my family.